No worries.
So, Penny, Mark had a question. Mark, what was your technical question?
I can't remember the exact words. Do you want to read it out for me?
Mark, you were asking about impact with your irons. Are you struggling to get good, clean impact with your irons?
Yeah, I don't take much of a divot. So I can play really well, hit it as thin as all get out.
So you generally hit it a bit. What's your handicap, Mark?
14 at the moment, but I've been down to 6.
Okay. And you tend to hit it a bit thin. And is that, are you happy doing that? You say you play well doing that?
I know, but when like on Saturday I played, and I've been working on trying to hit like a strip on the ground, and I just flushed it, absolutely flushed it. But I'm not really clear on, a go-to point on making sure I'm more consistent on it.
Yeah, hitting it thin on a cold morning is not nice.
Yeah.
Hurt your hands.
I grew up in Barrel, that's probably why.
If your setup's out, I can promise you something, the whole swing will be out. Doesn't mean you can't play, but your whole swing will be out. And what's exciting to me about that is, and that's a sad life that I find setup so exciting. What is exciting to me is that you can all control your setup. So you all have some way to control your setup. And you all have some way to control your takeaway, which will be slightly different. Now, Mark, you play with do you play with I can't remember, do you play with a draw or a fade? Mark,
I couldn't fade a ball to save my life.
Exactly. So the reason Mark doesn't have very big divots is because he is a drawer of the ball, which means he's coming from the inside quite a lot. So the inside, the shallower our divot will be. And that's why with ladies and senior men and that, I'm encouraging them to have like into out if it suits their mechanics. So when you've got a drawing action and coming from the inside, coming in shallower, you're never going to take a big divot when it's coming this way steep, this way it's shallower. So, but Mark also disconnected on the backswing. So one of the things is if you get too far out here, then he comes in too shallow as well. So it makes it, you should still have good solid contact, Mark. It's just going to come out a little lower and with a draw.
So it's a bit of a path issue, Dennise.
It's and a takeaway issue. But you know what, Mark, if you're handicap and you get your chipping, and I know you're working on your chipping and pitching like we all should, if you're going to hit it thin and still score, that's not bad.
I say hit it thin and win all the time. So,
Thin to win, that is a saying in golf, thin to win.
Do you have any tips for like the average golfer just to motivate themselves during a round, especially if they started badly or whatever? What could we think or do differently?
Great question. So if you start badly, how can you motivate yourself?
Yeah, just some mental things.
Think of a glass of wine, Raj. Sorry, Raj.
Think of the clubhouse. It's not open. That's why. Hence my problem.
I think the best thing when if you don't start well is you've got to, I know this is corny, but you have to forget about it as quickly as possible and just go, that hole's gone. Even just pretend, you're starting from here. If you start a double, forget that and go, okay, I'm just going to pretend. Now I know it's pretending, but it's the old thing, fake it until it works. You're just pretending you're teeing off the first again, just forget those 2 holes altogether and just play this hole. Okay, I'm starting here. And if you go double, now you're starting to panic. So you're going, oh, well, I'm just still going to pretend I'm starting from here, but what the hell? Because I don't know about you, but sometimes, you'll have a bad front 9 and then you go and you get a sandwich or something halfway and you go, oh, good, I'm glad that 9's over. Then all of a sudden you think you're playing a new game and you play really well. Do you know what does that happen? Or you play the front 9 really great and then you panic about it and try to be brilliant on the back 9 and you hit it lousy. So
it's the same old thing, Dee, isn't it? It's staying in the moment, playing one shot at a time, not thinking about what's gone behind, not thinking about what's coming ahead. It's the same old sort of mental techniques when you're playing well or when you're not playing well.
Hey, Tiff, you're just getting into golf. You just did the girls on the green at Bonnie Doon. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. I had a question about distance control, I think it was. Like, did you have any drills or advice for that as a beginner?
Distance control?
Yeah.
That's a good. How can I put this nicely? Annie, do you want to answer this one?
If you're a beginner, Tiffany, you probably don't have a lot of distance
Yeah, nah, I don't.
I would think you probably don't have flight control, connection control, club choice. You probably don't have a lot of control of anything.
She's actually pretty good. But Annie's right. You're
Other
pretty
than
good. But the thing
taking
is,
a different club to go different distances. So is it more that you're not sure which club to use where? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and also like kind of being consistency is another thing as well. Like being consistent with each of my clubs, so knowing which to use on the course.
So Tiff's only been at it for a short space of time, and that's a question like Raj, you'd get that with all people starting and all the clubs, and even though we've been playing for a long time, but it's interesting the longer we play golf, like Peter, Annie, myself, and the rest who have been playing, the more we come to realise that unless our technique is pretty good, our distance control is not as good. My distance control is nothing like what it was. And you just kind of accept that, and you have an average. But the better your technique gets, your distance control will get better. But
it'll happen automatically.
It'll happen automatically. It's still going to vary quite a bit. You know,
if you had consistency and distance control at this early stage, you'd probably be the first person in history. So just be patient, enjoy it, practice, play, just go through the process. There's no short-circuiting the process as much as we'd love to be able to give you that as coaches. I'd love to be able to say, here, take this pill. You'll never be inconsistent. You'll never have to practice. You'll always pick the right club. It just doesn't happen. There's just no shortcuts, unfortunately. I hate saying that because it's just not interesting and it's not really answering your question how you want it to be answered, but unfortunately that's it.
I haven't been able to play for about 4 months due to medical reason problems, but I'm expecting to be able to get back in about 3 weeks' time. At Muirfield, you can't get to the club more than 15 minutes before your tee time, so it doesn't leave you much time to actually practice.
Is that the same for everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, as teams.
Our practice areas are closed.
Yeah.
So you can't have too many people there.
Yeah.
How do you actually
10 minutes.
get into that frame of mind and loosen up and practice? I would normally be there an hour beforehand.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Well, Dee's got a good all-round multi-purpose stretch. Haven't you, Dee?
Yes. Now, all my students know this, and if you've been on a golf thing, you'll know it. You've been for a lesson, you'll know it. You could all get up and do it now, and we can then show any clients what they're to do. This is a great little one for you, Ken. It wasn't developed by me, so it means it's very safe. In that it was developed by a gentleman called Ramsey McMaster, who was a guru and so far ahead of his time. So I met him when I was coaching the Australian team, and I learned a lot of the physio from Ramsey. So this is a great one. So you need your longest club. I've only got my wedge, so it's not my longest club. And what I suggest you all do when you're doing it is just have a swing with your arms. Just 2 swings, so you've got a starting point. So you know, oh, I'm so stiff. Then what I want you to do, can you see me, Annie?
Yes.
I'm gonna hold this. Can you see me, Ken?
Yeah.
Hold this above your head. That's looking good. Then when you're young, Ken, you can go much further. So you'll see I don't go down too far. So I'm going to bend my front leg. If you've got a bad knee, be careful. Now all I'm going to do is bend slowly to the side. Hold it, back up, oops, and the hard thing is you have to keep your balance. So and then to the side, I'll do it this way for you, and then you're going to twist around, back, twist around, then do the other leg, so you've got it bent forward. Can you see me, Annie?
Yes.
Doing the same thing. Now, what why it's so good is because it works on your legs, it works on your core, and it keeps you in balance, which you need for golf. You need your legs, you need the stretch, and you need to engage your core. So I've only done it once on both sides, and you saw how stiff I was a minute ago. Now watch, just watch how this works a miracle. Whew. Can you see how much more flexible?
There's an extra 20 yards there, Dee, for sure.
Another 20 yards there. But it's a really good one, Ken. Annie, what we should do for Pro Golf Gals is do a whole lot of warm-up things.
But when you've only got 15 minutes, I think a bit of a putt, a little bit of a chip, hit in the nets if you can, do some of those stretches that Dee's done, and try not to feel rushed. Not that it matters much at the moment because there's not a lot of comps going on, but to play your best, don't think, oh my gosh, I've only got 15 minutes, rush, and then you get to the first tee and you're a bit of a wound up, mess. So just take your time, do what you can do, get a few stretches in. Yeah, whatever you can, get into your 15 minutes. Do it calmly.
So has everyone, Michelle, we didn't answer your question, did we? Maybe we did. What was your question?
Well, it's sort of been touched on a bit, just how you deal with playing really well one day and the next day shocking.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yes. Come on, you had 40 points yesterday.
40?
40.
Yeah, there you go. Michelle.
Well done.
Michelle, you said, how do you deal with nerves, didn't you, when you're playing?
Yeah, and the comp. I suppose the other one is the comp. Like I just always feel such pressure. I love social because I like just practicing different clubs and trying different things.
Yeah.
But I do feel the pressure of the.
How long have you been playing, Michelle?
18 months.
Oh, that's not long. You're just in that early phase, I think, where, it's all a process and you'll feel that way for a while and then you'll look back in a year or two and you'll forget that you even felt nervous.
Annie, I'm going to disagree. You're
not allowed to disagree.
Michelle, you disagree with Dee. Michelle, you're always going to feel nervous. And that's really quite good. You just got to harness those nerves and let the butterflies fly in formation. Don't let them scatter. I feel nervous. Like if I go and play with any of you, I feel really nervous. Like you think, oh, she's going to be really good. And I think, I don't even play much. I'm nowhere near what I used to. So I'm always nervous. But I suck it up and I go, I'm here to be with my friends. I'm going to hit some bad shots. They're going to say, I didn't think you'd hit a shot like that. And I go, well, that's life. That's what golf is. I'm going to find my ball, move on, enjoy my time that I'm playing with you. So we always get nervous. Once we accept that,
and the routine.
Fine. Like when we were on tour, we got, remember going into the bathrooms before you couldn't get into the ladies' room, the bathrooms, because people were either vomiting, had diarrhea, or had to go to the toilet or something, because everyone is nervous. But
and
they come
if
out.
You go back to your routine too, Michelle, that calms you and gets you focusing. And Dee's right in that you will always feel nervous to some sort of a degree, but you should find it a little bit better as you play more and more and you get more confident and, And
you are getting so good. You don't realise how good you are and how much. I think that's why I'm trying to say to all of you, you all are improving and you're all getting better. And some days just are rocks. Some days are diamonds. Some days are just rocks. And they're smelly old rocks as well. And just move on and look forward to the next day you're going to play golf, because how lucky are we to be playing golf, really? Yep. Think of that. That's one way to overcome, even when you're out in the golf course, was that Raj's question, and you start badly. And it's the same here, Michelle, when you're nervous, it's like, holy smoke, I'm just playing a game. I'm not trying to make a living out of this. I'm out here with nice people, beautiful surroundings. So what? I had a lousy hole. I might work it out afterwards, but I'm just going to go with the process and enjoy it. I know it's corny, but do enjoy the walk. This should be a great time. Coronavirus has taught us probably what is important, and golfers are one of the golfers are lucky people because we've been able to get out.
Yeah. One thing I'd say, can I just say, since I've come back from injury, and I've only been playing again about a year and a bit, but I used to be really bad at capitulating. Like I've had a couple of bad holes And this time back, I've got much, much better at, well, at the very least, I'm going to make 30 points. Boom. And just grind out a round. And I get home and I might have had 31 points, but I'll be in a really, really good mood because I've gone from hitting it like an idiot to forcing myself to concentrate, get back to the process and stick with it. Yeah. And I get so much pleasure out of that.
Yeah. And I bet your wife's happier too, Mark, is she?
What, that I've been away?
That's a great way. It's a great way to look at it, Mark, because you reset a goal throughout the round. If you're not having a great round, like those of you that are in the green room know that we have a 30+ competition where every time you play, you return your card if you've had 30 points or more, and it's just a great way to keep you interested. If you're not having the world's best round, 30 points or more is respectable anyway, isn't it?
Yeah,
very much.
Has anyone got a final question? Something that you really want to ask that we haven't covered?
Look, I don't have a question, but I just want to say a very big thanks to Dee and Anne. It's been fantastic to come on here and, listen to the comments and questions, because even though there are one or two questions I might have had, all of the other questions, they resonate because I can relate to what other people have asked. So it's fantastic. And thank you both for giving us the time.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank you.
Well, that's been great for us. Every question that you ask us is now a new, there's an idea for a video tip that we can do, like knowing what you want to know.
You all stay very safe. Stay safe, still keep that social distancing going, and
download the app.
What was that?
Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Peter, we need to employ you as our marketing manager, Peter. That's right. Don't forget to subscribe.
Alrighty.
Thanks
Thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate your time.